Welcome to Healthy Births, Happy Babies, where we share tips, tools, and stories grounded in natural childbirth and parenting principles, so that instead of feeling overwhelmed and confused during this exciting time in your life, you feel safe, supported, and empowered in your childbirth and parenting journey. And now, here's your host, Dr. Jay Warren.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Healthy Births, Happy Babies. I'm Dr. Jay Warren. I'm the prenatal and pediatric chiropractor here at the CAP Wellness Center. And today's guest is Lisa Druxman. She is the founder and CEO of Stroller Strides, which I'm sure you've heard of. It's an amazing company that's all over the country that's really helping women postpartum get back into exercise, and then doing so in a really smart way, in a healthy way, so that it sets them up to get back into fitness and also create an amazing community and learn from other moms as well in that new mama transition. We're going to talk a lot about that in just a few moments. But before I do so, let me, as always, take a moment to hear a word from our sponsor, the CAP Wellness Center. Hi, it's Dr. Jay, and one of the things I love about working at the CAP Wellness Center is being able to play a role in bringing a baby into the world that much more safely, much more naturally, and much more healthy. You know, it's something that is an amazing gift to give a child, to have them start off their life healthy without the stress and the trauma that can all too often be a part of the birth experience. So I consider it an honor to work with pregnant women to help them with that time during their pregnancy. And it is a privilege to be able to work with infants and help correct any distortions that might have happened through the birth process and allow them to start off their life healthy, in alignment and in balance, so that a health challenge doesn't hold them back from being all that they can be in this world. All right, and thank you again to all of you who are writing amazing rates and reviews in iTunes. That really helps us out, one, to get the feedback about what you like about the show and how we can make it even better, but then also it extends our reach in iTunes so more mamas can hear this message, because there are so many parents out there that need support and need the information to be even better parents. And your reviews help us do that, because more eyes are going to be able to see it in iTunes when they're searching around for this information. So at the end of our conversation, we're going to be doing listener mail as well this episode. But now it's time to introduce our guest. Lisa Druxman is a nationally recognized speaker and author and is considered an expert in the field of fitness, particularly pre- and postnatal fitness. She is also the founder and CEO of Stroller Strides, the country's largest fitness program for moms. Her company, Fit for Mom, has also developed other fitness programs for moms. Fit for Baby, which is for during pregnancy, and Body Back, which is for moms who are ready to take their fitness and vitality to the next level. Druxman earned her master's degree at San Diego State University in psychology with an emphasis in exercise adherence and weight control. She created the weight management system Lean Mommy, which stands for Lean Eating, Awareness, and Nutrition, which was released as a book by Hachette Publishing this year. She's also a fellow podcaster, and her show Motivating Mom can be found in iTunes right now. Lisa is a regular contributor to several San Diego area TV news stations, as well as fitness editor to ePregnancy magazine. She's been featured on NBC's Today Show, CNN, The Montel Williams Show, Access Hollywood, and profiled in magazines such as Entrepreneur, Women's Day, Good Housekeeping, Self, and more. So with no further ado, let me switch over to my conversation with Lisa. All right, Lisa, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's great to have you. Our own Angie Kapitanakis, Dr. Cap's wife, put us in touch, and I'm really excited to have you share your deep expertise in this area of postpartum fitness. We've already heard your bio. I read that at the top of the show. But before we jump into the topic, give us a little bit more about your background and how you got started in this and came to be where you are today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Well, I've been in the fitness industry, gosh, I can't believe it's been almost 25 years. But it really shaped up for me when I became a mom. When I had Jacob, who is now 15 and a half, I got inspired to start a business that was all about moms getting back in shape with their baby. And I have to tell you, it wasn't about the business. It was because I needed a community. So I started a program called Stroller Strides, and I did it so I could get all those questions answered about sleep and nursing and you name it. And then I did what I could to help these ladies get back in shape. So that's really how it started. And it's been a 15-year rocket ship, exciting ride. As my kids got older, we added Fit for Baby, which is our prenatal program. We added Body Back, which is our program for moms at any stage of motherhood. And so now for 15 years, we've been giving women the strength in motherhood.
Fantastic. And, it's really everyone's heard of Stroller Strides. It's an amazing company and an amazing support for women. And I know a lot of the patients that I work with have questions about getting back into fitness after having a baby. There are women that are on the whole spectrum of like, oh, I don't think I can exercise for a couple months. And then there's others that are, the week afterwards are like, all right, I got to get back to my body already. So there's a lot of do's and don'ts. And I want to kind of pick your brain about like what you kind of counsel and recommend new mamas in starting back. Like, when's the best time to get moving again?
Yeah, so my recommendation is, if it is at all possible, is that you should be working out your entire pregnancy. That will have the biggest impact on how you recover and recuperate and get back into shape. So luckily, more women are ready to start working out during pregnancy than at any other time. That's where mothering really starts, is all of a sudden we're motivated to really take care of ourselves in order to take care of those kids. So I won't focus on prenatal fitness, but I have to put that out there, is that if you really want to bounce back and recover, then definitely make sure you're working out during pregnancy. Afterwards, realize that your body went through a lot of changes in those 40 weeks. In fact, probably more changes in those 9 months than as a man's body will in your entire life. So that being said, work with your doctor. The recommendation is usually to wait about 6 weeks till you start a traditional exercise program, but that doesn't mean you can't start restoring your body. You can start walking. Again, everything in relation to your doctor and depending on what contraindications you have, but assuming that everything is healthy and normal, listening to your body, starting to do some very basic core exercises, and just kind of reconnecting to your body. Most of the changes have happened in your core, so your spinal alignment, your abdominals, and so those are the things that we really need to focus on getting back, and certainly your pelvic floor. So working on that. And so I just want women to give themselves grace. At 6 weeks, you don't jump back to your last exercise program.
Right.
Wherever you're starting, you start with baby steps, and then you increase and see how your body feels, and truly listen to your body, because we're asked to take on our biggest physical burden of all time at the time that our body is actually at the weakest and most exhausted. So I really want women to respect their body and have some grace for what's happened.
Right. And I find a lot of women do that, but there are some that really are comparing their, say, 2 or 3 week postpartum body and not having exercise to outside of pregnancy, right? There's like, well, I haven't exercised vigorously in months. So they have the same mindset of, all right, I need to get back to it and start in the way that they did outside of pregnancy. And there's so many changes, especially with the core, that they're really trying to find their core again. How do you recommend women start that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're doing yourself a disservice if you just jump back to your old exercise program.
Right.
And in fact, for women who maybe just jump right back on that spin bike or right back into whatever their exercise program was, you're not taking into account the changes that happened. So just some of the structural changes, just to give you an example, is picture a woman's body. Her head is going to jut forward. Her pectoral muscles, so her chest muscles, are going to shorten because her breasts have gotten larger. So it's going to start bringing you forward. Your shoulders are going to round forward. And then it's all about that tilt of the pelvis. Because of the growing uterus and baby, it's going to start to tilt in an anterior tilt. So it's tilting forward. And so you are getting shortened hip flexors at the front, and you're losing a lot of your glute strength, and you've lost a lot of your abdominal strength. So can you imagine what would happen if you just jumped back to an exercise program that didn't address any of those things? We need to get our body back into alignment. And so some of the exercises are really basic, just thinking about bringing your head back. In fact, here, do an activity with me right now, Jay, all right? And all of your listeners, I want you to do this too, unless you're driving. All right, so sit up nice and tall. And put your hand, I shouldn't do it with a microphone, put your hand right in front of your face. Sit with nice posture so that your hand is just touching your nose. Okay. All right, now I want you to use the muscles in the back of your neck and pull your head backwards and then just let it release. Now, I can't see you, but my guess is what's happening is that your hand is no longer touching your nose. Is that right? True? Mm-hmm. All right. Yep. So we all, so you don't even have to be a woman who's just had a baby, Jay. Like we all in this American society are all just so coming forward because we're looking at our phones and we're on these computers. So some really basic things is like, you could do this in the hospital after having the baby, starting to work on those muscles and bringing your head back, bringing your shoulder blades back, putting yourself on the back corner of a wall and wrapping your shoulders, squeezing around that corner. And then certainly what women are wanting to talk about is their core. Even in your hospital bed, put your hands on your belly, bend your legs, and first just start engaging and just practicing drawing your belly in and tightening and still being able to breathe. You're not holding your breath. And then you can start what's called a leg slide, a very gentle leg slide. So using your core to keep your hips stable, slide a leg out and slide a leg back, and working on keeping your core the same. And there's many others. You can start with a modified plank position, cat-cow. So again, just kind of reconnecting to your body and reconnecting to your core.
Right. Perfect. Thank you for that. And, once a woman's kind of got that stability and kind of finding it once again, then they're ready to get moving. And that's what your Stroller Strides program was all about, right?
Yeah. So, that's one of the things that we're so proud of with Stroller Strides is that it's not just a walk in the park with your stroller. It is a total body workout, all taught by certified instructors who specialize in pre- and postnatal fitness. They are all very aware of what you went through with your pregnancy and labor, but also what's going on with your body as it's starting to reconnect. And so the workouts are all designed for that. And so it doesn't matter if you're a mama who has never worked out before. Forget about just pre-pregnancy, like never worked out before. You can definitely just start at a very basic level and then build yourself up in a Stroller Strides class. And I want to say, even if you are someone who is incredibly fit, like I have some triathletes who come back and do Stroller Strides, I promise you'll still get a great workout.
Right. And you mentioned too that, when you started Stroller Strides, there was really an educational and supportive community-based aspect of it too. Can you share more about that?
Yeah, sometimes I think that the fitness is just the icing on the cake. What the moms really come for is the tribe. The moms really come for the community. So if you are a mom who wants to meet other moms, to have a connection, to not feel alone, what happens when you come to Stroller Strides is that you meet women who are in the exact same position as you, who just had a baby at the same time, or moms who had baby years before. And it's like there's sage advice, but there's also just like the motherhood is real, just realizing that you are not alone. So something really magical happens. I get to visit classes all over the country, and it doesn't matter if it's a small town, a big town, all of the moms are awesome and wanting to connect with each other.
Yeah, and that's what we found here too at the Capuano Center, that there's such a need for community because we don't have that infrastructure so much, and exercise is a great excuse to get out of the house and to get meeting more people. So it's a win-win. You're meeting like-minded mamas, seeing other new babies, and just getting that support of, all right, I'm not alone in this, and I'm not crazy. This is normal. Or getting some tips of, okay, maybe I need to get that checked out because it seems a little different, and that comes from a community.
Yeah. It's one of the things Dr. Kapp and I talked about on the Motivating Mom podcast, because he was just a guest on my show, is in past generations and in certain cultures still, when you have a baby, you're surrounded by your tribe. Maybe that's mothers, sisters, aunts, other friends. And it's like, not only are they taking care of you and taking care of the house and helping taking care of the baby, but like they are your network. They're supporting you. In most homes today, that is no longer the case. In most homes today, moms feel overwhelmed. Moms feel absolutely alone. And so Stroller Strides, the reason why it's taken off across the country is because this is another way to find your tribe.
Right. And it's so important to have that, and as well as getting exercise and out in the fresh air at the same time. It's perfect. So tell me more about the body back class. So now that a mom's kind of through more of the postpartum period, or is at a level of fitness that want to kind of get back to things, how do you incorporate that into their routine?
Yeah, so Body Back is our program that's for moms only. Don't bring your kids. And so very often people take it after Stroller Strides, but it doesn't matter if you had a baby 2 years ago or 20 years ago. The way the program is set up is that you are doing high intensity interval training. So we push you really, really hard. And the traditional program is an 8-week program, and then there is a nutrition component and coaching that goes along with it. And we do fitness assessments before and fitness assessments after. And women are astounded, like blown away that they make more changes in 8 weeks than they have in the last 8 years. And they realize that they have made maybe excuses or just not known how to do it or what to do to really take care of them. And so I love Body Back. I still teach it. I feel like Body Back is just magical for mamas, like literally magical, because it's where she turns her can'ts into cans. She really realizes that anything is possible and that she is a strong, powerful mama. And I think that when she is that, she becomes a better mom and a better wife.
Right. What do you find as the biggest challenges facing new mamas in getting back into exercise?
It's taking care of yourself. I really think the motherhood is real is the hashtag that we use. I think being a mom is hard. It doesn't come with directions. We're not exactly sure what to do. You might have been a really confident woman before becoming a mom, but these babies can take you down. So between sleep deprivation, and I think sleep is a very big part of it, nursing, all the things, and possibly feeling a sense of losing your identity of who you were before. Moms tend to be martyrs from my experience, myself included, where we are just all about, we're going to do this amazing job taking care of these babies. We're going to give it our all. And we just don't really see how to take care of ourselves, because if you've ever taken care of a baby for a day, yes, you might think, oh, all they do is sleep. But it is a 24/7 job. Like, it is almost impossible to just pick up your house if you are taking care of this baby and you're exhausted. So it feels hard for a lot of moms to find the time or carve the time when this baby, especially if they're a nursing mom, is like attached to them at all times. So that's why we feel like Stroller Strides is such a win, because it's something that you can do with your baby. But even if you don't have Stroller Strides, we are firm believers that you can fit fitness into the nooks and crannies of your day. It doesn't have to look like it did before you became a mom. You don't have to go to the gym. You can do an exercise video. You can do some basic exercises while your little one is doing tummy time on the floor. And little bits regularly will add up to a lot.
Right. And one of the things I try to remind moms so much in that postpartum period is exercise can really be a catch-22, can it? Where they feel like they don't have the energy to exercise, and or there's too much other things to do that I can't devote that. And that's a mindset of like taking care of myself type of thing. But in an energy sense, once you're exercising, you get more energy, and then you have the ability to handle your stress better and do all those things that can seem overwhelming, but it really comes from a place of like, all right, I devoted some time to myself as well as to baby so I can be a better mom.
Yes, 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 yes. I bow down to you. I am a fanatical fan of exercise, like crazy fan. Forget about the fitness. Forget about getting your body back. The energy that you get, the way it sets your hormones back up, the way it sets your perspective back up, it is everything we need. Again, pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, afterwards, and for all of us at all times. Like, I exercise every day that I want to feel good. Think about it that way. Like any day I want to feel good, I'm going to exercise. The days that I don't exercise just doesn't seem like the rest of the day just doesn't flow. So it doesn't mean that it has to be, again, a hard workout. It doesn't mean it has to be a long workout. But every day I want to move my body because my body is going to take good care of me for doing so.
Yeah. And it's such a stress reliever. I mean, in that fight or flight stress response, all that tension builds in the musculature and we want to dissipate it. We want to get it out of there. And that comes through movement. We don't do that as naturally anymore. So we need to have these, impulses to get up and to get moving. And that's only going to allow you to be a better, peaceful, more calm, more responsive mom rather than a reactive mom.
Just commit to 10 minutes. If you feel like I don't have time to exercise, just say, I'm going to do 10 minutes. Come on, everybody can do 10 minutes. And I could pretty much guarantee you most of the time it's going to turn into 12, turn into 15, turn into 20. Maybe not an hour, but you don't need an hour. 20 really purposeful minutes can definitely be enough to boost your energy, boost your strength, and help you get back in shape.
Yeah. And, it's so much of what you're talking about right now leads me into, I want you to talk about your podcast. I've listened to it. It's obviously, I'm not a mom, but it is very, it is very motivating. So as a fellow podcaster, share about your show because I think it's a great resource that mamas can really just get some great information and inspiration from.
Thank you. We started the podcast, I want to say a couple years ago. We're about to have our 100th episode, and it's called the Motivating Mom Podcast. And I created it for a couple of reasons. One, because while we do have 2,000 class locations, there are 4 million new moms a year. Like, we're not scratching the surface of being able to reach moms. And we believe so much in the power of moms and realizing that they can live this life of strength and power and happiness, and they don't have to be in a life of overwhelm. And so we started the podcast wanting to help them find their passion and purpose in motherhood. And also because when you go to a Fit for Mom class, it is mainly a fitness class, definitely with some icing on the cake of the love and inspiration. So it gives us the opportunity to bring in great experts, like we brought in Dr. Cap. Today, we released an episode with Jillian Michaels. And so we bring in everything, from fitness to sex we just talk about it all the topics that moms want to talk about. So one more way that we're trying to be the tribe and support moms in different areas of her life.
Yeah, and it really, as you just said, it isn't just fitness. I mean, just scrolling through the episodes, it covers really the gamut, and it is very focused to mom. It is very out in the biggest picture of things of like just really how can you be a great mom and so you can raise a great family and great kids. And I was just listening to the one about the Enneagrams this weekend. I didn't finish it yet, but I've always been really interested in Enneagrams, and applying that to your kids I think would be really interesting as well.
Have you had your Enneagram done, Jay?
No, not yet.
Okay, so if you go to the link on the site, I think we had a link to a free test where you could take. It was fascinating. It was absolutely fascinating knowing your Enneagram. And then my husband did it too. And it's like, it really helps you understand that we all tick so differently. So it doesn't matter what advice I give you as a mom, we all receive it differently, and how we approach motherhood and life is very different. And when you really respect that we're all wired differently, it helps you with your connections with your kids, with your spouse, with your friends. So that was a fun episode.
Yeah, I'll make sure to include that link in the show notes here. And with our last couple of minutes here, Lisa, tell the moms like what you'd like a take-home message to be from what we talked about today, or maybe something we haven't even touched on yet. But what would you like moms to hear right now from you?
My take-home message is that the days are long, but the years will go by so fast. And no matter how cliche it is, no matter how many mamas tell you, oh, it's going to go by really fast, it actually goes by faster than that. I'm now a mom to a sophomore and a middle school student. And my mom would tell you she can't believe that she has a daughter who's 46 years old. And so whatever stage you're in, when you're dealing with the tantrum or whatever part that feels so hard, realize it's going to pass. But the good stuff passes too. So when you're in the hard part, just let it go. And when you're in the good stuff, savor it.
Oh, that's beautiful. And what about a message for a baby listening? Either, baby's not born yet, they're listening through mama's ears and they're still in the belly, or maybe mom's listening to this postpartum and getting ready to get back into fitness. What little message would you like to whisper into their little ear?
I love this question. Okay, I'm going to give you two. One is please sleep, baby. Let your mama sleep. And then the second message is realize your mama's doing the best she can. And we all are. We're doing the best we can, and there is no perfect.
That's beautiful too. So tell our listeners how they can learn more. Where can they find out more about your programs or yourself?
Super easy. Go to fitformom.com. It's fit with the number 4 mom.com. You can find out about any of our classes across the country. You can find out about our franchise opportunities, our blog, our podcast. I'm easy to follow, Lisa Druxman. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, you name it. And whatever we can do to support any mom at any stage of motherhood so that she can find the strength of motherhood.
Yeah, well, you're doing an excellent job of that. I applaud you, Lisa, for everything you've done to support moms, not just in our community here, but all over through your programs. You work very hard to do that, and I want to extend a thank you and appreciation for supporting these mamas postpartum.
Thank you so much, Jay.
And so now, like we've done on previous episodes, we're going to do some listener mail. And this listener mail is going to be a little different in that it's not one specific question from one person, but a general question that I get a lot. And that is really, how do I find practitioners like what you have in San Diego at the CAP Wellness Center in my neck of the woods? And it's definitely not an easy process sometimes. If you're not already hooked into a network of practitioners that's naturally birth-oriented, whether it's an OB or chiropractor, acupuncturist, midwives, doulas. So know that they're out there, though, in your community. It's just going to take some effort to find them. So the first and best place to uncover these practitioners that I always recommend is to ask your friends and family. If someone you know of has done the type of birth and had the type of practitioners that you want to have, then a referral in that sense is absolutely the best. But if you don't have that, what I'm recommending people that email into me is to go to the ICPA website. The ICPA is the International Chiropractic Pediatric Association. It's the association I'm a part of. It's prenatally based chiropractors as well as pediatric based chiropractors. And whether or not you're looking for a chiropractor really is irrelevant in the first step, because what I have them do is find a pediatric, if you're looking for pediatric type of care, or a prenatally oriented chiropractor in your town. And like I said, whether or not you're going to go in to get adjusted, calling that office and asking them for referrals to a more naturally oriented OB or to midwives that they recommend or to doulas is a great way of doing it. I've had a lot of listeners do that, and the chiropractors call me saying, hey, thanks for sending them in. We were able to get that information to them because, like I was saying before, the birth community is really tight-knit community, and we want to help each other out. So just like me as a chiropractor in taking care of a pregnant woman, there's so many different aspects as far as nutrition and stress reduction and exercise. And I'm not an expert in any one of those things. I just want to be able to have people I refer to that are experts in those fields so that they can support the women I'm working with. Then those same chiropractors in your town will hopefully have the same referral network that you can take advantage of. There's absolutely other types of practitioners as well. It's just I can speak firsthand that as chiropractors and looking at kind of the whole functioning of the body, we tend to be people that in our communities know a lot of the other people to refer back and forth. So hopefully that's a resource that you can take advantage of. And so the page that you'd want to go to, well, it's the ICPA website, which is ICPA, the number 4, kids.org is their website. I'll have the link here for it. And then it's / find a chiropractor with dashes in between it. So once you're on that page, it has a search for either the United States, Canada, or internationally. The best way to do it is you put in your zip code and then a search radius, and it'll come up with a listing of ICPA members that are in that search radius. Depending on where you are in the country or where you are in the world, that radius might have to be bigger. If you're in a major city, there's going to be a lot more people to choose from. But from that list, not only geography-wise, like what's close to you is going to be a factor, but also I would recommend going through the websites that are linked there, looking on their site and making sure that that website has a lot of information about prenatal care and pediatric care, that even though they're listed on this association website, that's the work they're actually doing. Like if you go onto the capwellnesscenter.com website, you'll see it's all prenatal information. All our links are to other prenatal and postpartum. And so that's our expertise and that's what we actually do, rather than someone that might be a part of an association pay into it, but that's not really their specialty. So that's something I would definitely recommend vetting some of the ones that come up. I always have said to reach out to our email address or to our Facebook page and ask these questions, and I'm absolutely happy to do that. But if there's a timing issue and you want to go straight to the source, those are the sources that I look to. So we'll again put that link in the show notes so that you have it and can click onto that and hopefully get the resources if you're not here in San Diego that mimics this and allows you to have the amazing experience that you want to have with your pregnancy and your birth and in your new parenthood. So that does it for this edition of Listener Mail. Keep your questions coming. I'm happy to answer them as soon as I can, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you for joining us today. For more information about this episode and other natural childbirth and parenting topics, please visit us at capwellnesscenter.com or message us on our Facebook page with any questions you might have. We here at the Cap Wellness Center look forward to helping you and your family be as happy and healthy as you can be.